Yo, what's going on, guys? Oh shit, my voice sounds fucking terrible. Okay, so here we are. I've done this video before, but I'm just gonna have to do it again because I didn't think I did too good of a job. So we're just gonna sit here and do it again, and we're gonna do a better job this time. So this is how you kind of play ADC in season 5. ADC is a very I don't want to say boring role, but it's a very specific role that you have to fulfill up until you get to late game, really. Until you get to late game, like then it's kind of more of a diverse role, but like early game, it's kind of just running through the motion and not really anything that you can do based on really skill. I'd say I don't know. ADC laning phase is kind of weird, but like I'll go over it here and show you how to really do everything correctly and kind of try to stay up there with your guy and stay ahead of your guy. So right now I'm playing Chronos. So there are 3 different types of starts that you can do. You can kind of just the main start that you can do is the one I do quite a bit with Fajita is if you know you're gonna outclear him and you think you can outbox him, you're gonna get Sprint 2, which is upgraded, the relic Sprint but upgraded, and your support will be the one to get that. And you can sit behind either this rock or this rock, and you can wait for the carry lane to pop out, pop that Sprint 2, and then just throw your abilities at him and fuck him up. And even if you don't kill him, if you get him really low, it's a win because they're not gonna be able to clear lane with their health at like 10 HP. Another start that you can do is this is if you think you're gonna get outcleared, like if you think that they're gonna outclear you. You want to stay kind of around this area until the minions spawn, but then why are you here? But then once they do spawn, you can move up with the wave, throw your ability out the wave, and then, you can throw your ability out the wave. Then right after that, don't even throw any autos at the wave. I totally forgot what I was doing. Then just come to purple and just come over to purple. Then you guys can secure that. If they're playing aggro on you, like if they're trying to walk over to the purple, you can bring it like right around here, just working that, and you can just like auto from right here. Then you can go under the tower, and then the wave should be around right there, or around right there usually. But yeah, the third start is a start I don't really do a whole lot. I kind of do one or the other, but this one I guess you can do. It's the normal kind of start where you'll kind of start back, maybe try to outpoke him, and then you'll just try to outclear him. Which is I guess it's fine. Like it doesn't like I just prefer to do one or the other. Yeah, so once you get this is actually great. So once you get pressure like this, like how he's at really low health and I'm at a very decent amount of health, I can look to invade their purple, and depending on where the jungler is, I can also look for their red. Like if their jungler, let's say I outclear him early, right? Let's say I have him in their tower really early. I can kind of and let's say the jungler is just getting the right harps. That's kind of a little too early, but let's say that. Let's say that's happening. Then I can come to the red, and the jungler can't really do anything about it. But if you have a great mid laner, then he'll probably just steal the red himself if he has enough pressure. But yeah, that's kind of how like the start will go. But yeah, definitely a lot of the time in like an evade situation, you do just kind of want to play it safe and just farm purple instead of red. But if you can farm red, then go ahead, by all means farm red. That'd be great. It wouldn't do anything but help your team out. And also, if you have pressure and there's nothing in the jungle, nothing in your jungle, you can also just go for oracles. Like oracles are a really good way of XP and stuff like that. And this is like with like your still like when your support's still here. This is a great way to get XP. I can't get them right now though because I'm level 2. But like whenever you have your support, those will be a lot easier to get. Yeah, so if you have a lot of pressure, but just remember this: once your support leaves, which should be around level 5, maybe level 7 at the very least, they definitely shouldn't be there to level 10. Like if your support is there and they're level 10, they're kind of not that great of a support. They definitely shouldn't rotate. I mean, they definitely should rotate. That's what I'm trying to say. They definitely shouldn't be there for level 10. But yeah, no. So just keep farming waves. Honestly, like don't like blow your pressure. As for warding spots, depending on how you think you're going to be playing, there are a few warding spots. If you think you're going to be playing, aggressive, like you're going to go that sprint 2 start, then your support may or may not want to ward the red buff and around right here. Because you know, red buff is always great to have control over, and if you can have it worded to know whenever the jungler's there, or you know, whenever to get like a timer on it, that's always good. And also, if you're having a lot of pressure in lane, like you're keeping them right up here, the jungler may or may not gank. You know, like he may walk through right there. If you are conscious about it though, if you don't think he'll walk through right there and you get ganked, then you might also, as an ADC, may or may not want to ward right there, or you may just want to tell your support to not ward red and ward right there, and right there, you know, both sides of the Gold Fury. As for some, there are some situations where the double purple ward works as well, where you can ward double purple, and that's kind of if like you, I don't know, like you're kind of like splitting waves, not like splitting waves, you're kind of like getting out cleared some waves and not like, you know, clearing them. It's kind of a weird situation where that will work, but I definitely don't like the double purple ward, but that's just me. But again, whatever floats you, like, you know, you play to see however you want to, I guess, but like I just don't like it. Yeah, but the gold oracles will definitely give you a lot of control where the jungler is going, and that's another way to not waste a ward, but to have the gold fury kind of warded. But yeah, so also this is another thing. Depending on if your mid lane's losing, you might want to ward your red also. Depending on if your mid lane's losing or not, then you might also want to ward right here. But once it gets to where your support's leaving you, I usually do. I don't ward any buffs whenever the support leaves me. I like to play it safe, and I'll ward right there and right there. You know, both sides of the Gold Fury, because that's usually where the jungler will walk through. In very small cases, though, you can ward right there. I don't like that word, but it saved my life multiple times. So I guess I can't really rat on it too much, but it is just a weird word, but it can work in some cases if the jungler likes to chill around there before he ganks, and you could actually know. But yeah, so I think I covered wording. I think I covered most of the stuff. So whenever like your support rotates, honestly, lane farm is the most important thing. Like, buffs are nice to have, but really once your support starts rotating, only get buffs if you actually want the buff. Like, everything, like lane farm is so much more superior than buff farm. Only get buffs if like you can grab like you don't only need red buff as an ADC. You can grab purple buff and have it still be useful. Like, once your support rotates, that red buff is probably still gonna be the mid laners, so you're gonna want to just get purple buff and hopefully not miss out on too many minions like I kind of am. But yeah, so you're gonna want to focus on buffs if you actually want the buff. If you don't want the buff, then honestly just stick to farming lane, because that's probably the easiest way to do things. I can just say I'm not really like worried, but yeah, so that's kind of that. If like you're playing like a god, like, you know, you're not gonna have a whole lot of tower control with, like if you're playing like a god like Freya or like Uller or like Scotty, you know, you're probably not gonna have a whole lot of just tower poke and tower control. So you probably do want to focus more on like their buff control. Like if you're playing like Scotty or Uller, you know, someone that can really bully the lane, or even like a Freya, you can focus more on trying to steal their red and their purple. Again, like that's something that I like to do whenever I'm playing an ability based god. You don't have to if you don't want to, but that's just how I like to do things. But whenever I'm playing an auto attack based god like Kronos, or you know, like Apollo, you know, just someone that focuses heavily more on auto attacks, I do like to focus more on tower poke and trying to get to their Phoenix as quick as possible than buff control. Buff control is nice to have, but I don't really focus on having too much buff control until after I get to tier 1 if I'm an auto attack god. Yeah, so that's kind of, I think, it for in-game stuff. I think I kind of gave you all the, no, I didn't even tell you how to rotate. Yeah, so basically, I like to rotate if it, like, okay, so basically for the majority of the game as an ADC, you're gonna be behind, really. For the majority of the game, you're gonna be behind. And that's fine. Like that's just how ADC works right now. It sucks, but that's just kind of how it is. But so you're gonna be behind majority of the game. See the ulting? No. So you're gonna be behind. You're gonna be behind majority of the game. But up in, like, I don't think you should ever like leave your lane until you're either on level with everyone else in the game or you're above level. But I also don't like to rotate until after I get this tier 1 tower. But if I'm just like struggling to get it, like they keep coming back before I can get it, then just go ahead and rotate to mid or whatever. Definitely don't make any rotations over to solo lane, because that won't work too well, I promise you. But yeah, so definitely just try to have lane pressure before you rotate, or else I guarantee your tower and shit like that's gonna be fucking gone. Yeah, so like definitely, I don't know, rotating ADC is kind of weird, but like if you're gonna rotate, make sure that this and this and yeah, make sure that these aren't up so that they can't take those, and then make sure that your tower make sure like you know like how I had that Guan Yu way up there. Right now would be a really good time to rotate because I have him way up there. He won't be able to do a whole lot in that time, so I can rotate to mid and pick up some kills there. But yeah, up like just yeah. I don't know where I was gonna go with that, but yeah, so that's kind of how things work. What are you doing? I hate having bots in my lanes, bothers me. But yeah, so that's kind of how rotating and stuff like that works in ADC. I don't know if I explained that too well, but that's kind of the gist, I guess. But yeah, no, also now since I just killed him, this would be a great time to either steal buffs or rotate to mid, depending on what's happening in mid. But yeah, so that's rotating. I think. Where's my phone at? My phone has been off. I don't know where it is. Yeah, in terms of like team fighting, just kind of stay behind your support and wait for his CC. Just wait for your support to CC him, and you're good. Like you'll pick up, like they won't be like skillful triple kills, but you're gonna pick up triple kills. Like no matter like if you just sit there and wait for your support to do his CC. Like if you're playing like Athena, wait for that Athena to taunt before you do a whole lot of damage. Like I mean you're kind of playing ADC, so it doesn't like really matter. That's kind of more of like a mage thing. But like it seems like you're playing like ADC, it's kind of auto him really. But then once it like say you're playing like an ability based god like Ullr, once that Athena taunts that's when you're gonna throw your axe and unload your combo into him really. But yeah no. Also if you're playing like a god like Kronos like I am right now, once that Athena taunts, that's when you're probably gonna throw your fucking you're stunned them. Yeah, you're stunned, and then you can go from there. But yeah, so that's kind of how you'll team fight. Just kind of stay behind your support, stay kind of in the back line, and hope you don't get ganked. And if you do get ganked, just fucking yell at the support, and if he doesn't save you, it's his fault. So now I think I'm gonna go into jungle practice to kind of give you some standard builds and stuff like that. So yeah, see you there. Alright guys, so I'm on Ullr to kind of go through the physical builds, and I'll switch over to a magical god and trying to go over the magical builds for you. But right now I'm on Ullr, and this is going to be all of the physical builds that I can think. There's going to be, I believe, 3 that I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you a ability based build, then a auto attack based build, then an auto attack based build with no crit. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So first off, I'm gonna run over the starts for each build first, and then I'll go over the actual build. So for an ability-based build, it's like let's say you're playing Scotty or Ullr, or I guess you can do this on AMC. I kind of build AMC kind of weird though. AMC is a little bit of an oddball. I kind of built him like a mix between auto and a build. I don't know what he is actually. I don't play AMC a whole lot because whenever like you look at my build with him, it's clear that I don't play the god and I don't know what I'm doing on him. So this is gonna be for Ullr. I do start out. I'm gonna go. Like I said, I'm gonna go over the lane start and then I'll move on from there. So in terms of lane start, you want tier 2 Transcendence. But this is all you're gonna build to Forge. You're gonna want tier 2 Transcendence and then 3 health pots, 3 mana pots, and then more than likely beads. Mainly, most ADCs have to get beads because the Guardian CC is fucking ridiculous. So, so this is gonna be what you start out with. This is gonna be how you go to lane is with these items, and I like these items quite a bit. I think that it does a lot of damage, and in ADC you kind of have to rush Transcendence rather than getting a blessing and tier 1 Transcendence. You kind of have to rush it because you're not really gonna get a whole lot of gold in ADC because you're splitting like the first 5 to 10 levels with your support, so you're gonna kind of need to rush Transcendence instead of getting a mage item. But that's kind of risky a little bit because like if you die you're gonna be set back by quite a bit, so it's really hope that you don't die. And if you're playing a god like Lord, that really shouldn't happen because he has his X leap and he can just fucking zoom around the place. It's crazy. So that's gonna be the start with ability based gods. Also you're gonna build this on gods like Scotty and maybe AMC depending on how you play him. And you can honestly probably get away with building this on Chernobog because that dude's just fucking ridiculous. But besides that, I don't really think that you should build this on any other hunter. Alright, now let's go into the actual full build real quick. So you're going to want to finish Transcendence, get Warrior Tap by, then get big ol' Jotun's Wrath, and then after that you're going to want to get some Lifesteal with Soul Eater, which Soul Eater is a secretly really good item, and I don't know why it's not built more often. Then you're going to get it. Then you're going to want to get this is kind of like if you're having a hard time killing their tanks, you're gonna want the no, you're not gonna want. If you're having a hard time killing their tanks, you're gonna want Titan's Bane. But a lot of the time, if you just want to focus on just fucking up the squishies, you're gonna want Crusher. Crusher's always nice to have. And then for your final item, you're gonna want Bloodforge. And then this is kind of like the set build with most ability-based ADCs. This build will fucking chunk, but if you're playing Ullr, you're not really going to do a whole lot late game besides throw an axe to help your teammates out, because Ullr late game is fucking, I'm not talking about that. Ullr late game is fucking odd, and he's just, unless like you're ahead, like he's just kind of really bad, I guess. But yeah, so that's kind of the main build for ability-based gods that you can go with. Again, the Crusher is kind of situational. If you want to go and have a lot more use, I guess, in team fights, you can go Titan's Bane. And even if you go Titan's Bane, you'll still melt squishies. Like, it's still, like honestly, I think Titan's Bane is probably the go here instead of Crusher. Like, you'll still melt most squishies. It's just going to be a little bit more, I want to say not so fun, actually, because I don't know, Crusher, whenever you get that Crusher proc, it's honestly fucking awesome. But yeah, no, see, this is kind of the normal build you'll go with. Just scratch the Crusher and actually put in Titan's Bane, if I'm actually trying to help you guys out here. So, now let's get back in the fountain and go over the auto attack based builds, the one with crit real quick, and then we'll go with the one without crit. So let's get the start real quick. So the start for most auto attack based builds, you're going to want to go with that, and then that. This is going to be what you start out with in most cases. You're going to want to go with Hunter's Blessing, and then, but like, ignore the numbers, those are all glitched, so just ignore those, those don't really mean anything right now. But yeah, so you're going to want to go with Hunter's Blessing, and then tier 1 Devos, and then you're going to want to, if this is going to be a thing, so like, normally, if you have a good enough support, you can, like, if you have like a friendly enough support at least, or if you're solo queuing, then you'll just have to do it yourself. But like, if you have a good enough support, you can kind of ask him this, because I make them do everything for me. But but you could ask him how much gold you're ahead, and if you're ahead by any amount of gold, you're gonna want to finish Devos on your first back. If you're behind by any amount of gold, you fucking Christ, I did this on accident. Oh my god. If you're behind by any amount of gold, you're gonna want to probably get boots. 1 second. You're gonna want to probably get boots, which on auto attack guys, I do prefer Ninja Tabai, but if it's like Rama or like an Artemis, you can get Warrior Tabai, but I do prefer Ninja Tabai on most of my auto attack based gods. But let's assume that you're getting Devos first. Let's assume that you're ahead. I have the benefit of a doubt. Good luck, child. But so you're gonna get Devos, and then whichever one you prefer. I do, however, prefer Ninja Tabai. That's just me. If you want to go Warrior Tabai, that's on you. But I'm going Ninja Tabai, and then this is kind of a weird spot. If you're a little bit ahead, quite a bit ahead, you might want to get Ichval. Ichval's a really good item, and it does kind of do a lot of damage. Wait, no, this is a cripple. My bad. So my bad. You want Poison Star. Poison Star will give you a big power spike, and it's a really good item. Then you want to go with Executioner, and then probably honestly, I've been getting Aussie a lot more recently, and then you're probably gonna want to finish that off with maybe a probably, honestly, it depends. Honestly, like if you're like get probably Deathbringer. Deathbringer is probably the way to go. It honestly does depend though. But just let's go with Deathbringer for the sake of the video. But you'll probably honestly go with like Wind Demon, or maybe not even a crit item. You'll probably just go with like another pen item. You'll probably get like maybe definitely don't get Ichval this late. But if you want to get like another pen item, you can go with like Odysseus bow, or if you want to get like a real flavor pick, you might go with Atalanta's bow or something like that, or Silver Branch bow whenever it gets put back into the game. But that's kind of the main build. You can get either Atalanta's bow if you wanted some spicy stuff. You can don't get kin size with crit, 'cause that won't work too well. You can get Wind Demon or you can get Deathbringer. So that's kind of that. So now let's get into a build without crit, which is just mainly a pen based build. And pen's always fun to have because you could just watch the fucking enemy support just get frustrated that they can't defend against you. You're just gonna melt their fucking faces off. So with this, you're gonna start out with the same stuff, not Deathbringer. You're gonna start out with the same stuff. Usually that. Also, wait, real quick, if you're playing Hachiman, don't worry about multi-pots. Just get 4 health pots. If you're playing Hachiman, that is, but that's really situational. Most of the time, we're gonna get multi-pots. But yeah. So if you're playing this real quick, you're gonna want to start off the same start that you had other games, but then you're gonna finish Devourers, and then you're gonna want to get probably with the pen build, you probably want to get Warrior Tabite no matter what. Probably is what I'm thinking. Then you're gonna get Ikavul, then you're gonna get Executioner, then Kin Size, then you're gonna sell this, get Titan's Bane, and then if it's late in the game, or like if it's again a bit later in the game, and like you're team fighting and like you have like enough gold, go ahead and set Ikavul and get Odysseus Bow, because Ikavul won't really do a whole lot late game. It's one of those items that's like really cheap and will get you a pretty big power, not pretty big, it'll give you a pretty decent power spike mid game, but late game you honestly don't really notice it. So you're gonna want to sell it and get Odysseus Bow. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I usually do whenever I do like a full pen build. And this is kind of like your maxed out build, really. This is kind of one of the only times I'll build Ken Size, because Ken Size doesn't really work well with crit. As my support yelled at me multiple fucking times, fuck you, Fajita. This is kind of like the standard build that you can go with. So yeah, that's all 3 builds kind of run down for you. So yeah, now I'll jump into another jungle practice and do the magical builds for you real quick. Alright, what's going on? Here we are back in the jungle practice with a magical god. I'm on soul for this one, but I will do again all the type of builds that you'll see or want to try and build. The third one is going to be the one that you're going to want to build on a god like Freya, and that's kind of iffy. I don't really play Freya, so that one's kind of iffy. You can use that if you want to, but I honestly would recommend just going to somebody else for that type of thing, because I don't really know how to build her too well. So, real quick, this is going to be my my builds you're going to build on gods like, wait, no, there's only 2 builds, I believe. Yeah, only 2 builds, actually. So gods like Sol and Kronos, this is going to be their type of build. So, you're first going to start out with Hunter's Blessing, and then Bang, and then you're going to want to get beads, and then sometimes, I don't know, so if you're playing Kronos, get 2 mana pots. If you're playing Soul, get 2 multi-pots. Because Soul's not really all that mana hungry, honestly. So, you can honestly, if you want to get 2 multi-pots, if you want to play it safe, go ahead. Not down 2 mana pots, yeah, just go ahead and play it safe if you want to. But I do honestly prefer 2 multi-pots. But that's just me. Again, this is all preference. So, for the sake of the video, I will be getting mana pots, since that's probably what you'll be building. So, this is gonna be what you start out with. This is gonna be what we work out a base with, and you're gonna want to instead of, I used to get Telkine's Ring, but Telkine's Ring is such an expensive item. You're honestly gonna want to get Hastened Ring. You're gonna want to sell it for Hastened Ring, and Hastened Ring honestly it's a pretty cheap item, and it's honestly really fucking good, and you can kind of chase people down with it. And it's gonna be you're gonna be able to chase people down with it, and it's honestly just gonna be a fun time, and you move around fast as fuck. But I only have 1 item, so she's gonna clap my cheeks right now. But I'm not gonna really do that. So that's gonna be kind of what you walk out of base with. Not really walk out, but that's gonna be what you start out with after Hunter's Blessing. Then after that, you're gonna want to get Shoes of the Magi. Yeah, you're gonna get Shoes of the Magi, which will give you some penetration. And then after that, you're probably gonna want to. I like to go into some Lifesteal, because Lifesteal is always good. Then I'm gonna get Bancrofts. And then after that, you can go into Telkines finally. Telkines is definitely expensive, but around this time is when you should be getting solo farm anyways, and you should be team fighting really well. So Telkines Ring is a good item to get at this point in time. Next is completely up to you. I do honestly love to get Poly. I think Poly's a really underrated item, and I think it's fucking great. I love it. Whenever you get a Poly shot, it's so satisfying. But again, like the Crusher, it is completely situational and up to you. If you want to get one of these 2, If you want to get one of these 2 rings, you can. Or if you want to go ahead and get some pen with Obshard or, one of these 3, you can. But like I said, I do prefer to get poly. So for the sake of this build, we're getting poly. And then last item, you can, if you want to get more attack speed, you can get a ring. But I do prefer to get some pen, and I get like Obshard. Actually, sometimes I don't get Obshard, but sometimes I'll get like Spear of Deso. But one of these 2, really. One of these 2. So you can build. It really doesn't matter, kind of. I mean, it kind of does matter, but depending on what's happening, if your team fighting really well, you want to get Spear of Deso. If not, you want to probably get Obshard. So that's that. I don't really know what I'm talking about with most magical builds, so Turtle's probably gonna roast me. But this is kind of what I do. Fucking Turtle, fight me. This is it. So now we can move on to our ability-based build, which again, not really ability-based, but just kind of Freya-based build, which is again kind of odd, and I don't really like it, but it is what it is, I guess. I don't know. Like I don't know how to build Freya. This is kind of how I do it whenever I do seldomly play the god. So I start out with tier 2 Book of Thoth, beads, and then if I'm playing Freya, I want that. Yeah, if I'm playing Freya, I want that. But that's kind of what I'll start out with as the start. Depending on if I have a lead or not, I will go ahead and try to finish Book of Thoth, but it is an expensive item. I will try to finish Book of Thoth. If I'm not ahead, then I'll get boots. But let's assume that you're ahead again for this build, and we'll get Book of Thoth. Then we'll get boots. Then we'll get Hastened Ring. And then we'll get Telkine's Ring. Then we'll get Shaman's Ring. And then we'll finish the build. Wait, fuck. Oh, never mind. We are not doing this at all. Don't do this. Don't do that at all. Get a bang. Gonna get, wait, let's go ahead and skip that. Let's get that. Polly is really good on her with that, square X combo type thing. That 1 and 2 combo. And then, again, you can get one of, wait. I don't really know which one of these is best for Freya. Just don't use this fucking build. Like, I'm going to put it up here, but don't use this fucking build. This build's garbage. Just don't use it, please. This build fucking sucks, and I don't want you using it ever again. Alright? Alright. That's the build. That you can use that if you want to. But again, I don't recommend it because I don't really know what I'm doing on that part. But, yes, that's that. Sorry if you use that build and you fucking feed your brains out. I really do apologize, but you fucking brought it on yourself. I've told you many times, don't use that build, and you fucking used it anyways. So it's your fault. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. I think I've gone over a lot. It's going to be a somewhat lengthy video, but I think most of it was pretty educational. I think you'll get ADC under control, and you'll learn how to not fall super far behind. Oh, shit, I did not deadass even touch if you were behind. Holy shit. Let me go do that real quick. Holy shit. Alright, so we're back. Real quickly, I know this video is all over the place. I'll probably have a timestamp at the beginning of the video, letting you know whenever, I actually go over this part. But yeah, so, this is gonna be, but don't acknowledge your link ADC. That's just kind of what it doesn't really matter, really, because I'm strong practice. But, real quick, if you're behind, if you're behind, you want to honestly just safe farm. You probably won't be able to farm wave a whole lot, and I know wave is really valuable, but like you probably won't be able to farm wave. Either they'll be, right here, the waves will be colliding, and they'll be freezing the wave and pressuring you out of it, or they'll, if they're fucking stupid, they're just gonna be clearing the wave, and then like you can, like if they're pretty bad, they'll probably just like clearing the wave normally, or if they want to do something else, like get buff pressure, then they'll probably just clear the wave as quick as they can, and then you can clear out most of the wave. And then they're probably gonna steal your buffs, but you'll get a wave. So, if they have like the entire like lane to themselves and like they're dashing on you each wave aggressively, then you honestly do want to try and just farm the back camps, purple camp, red buff whenever you can, to try and catch up. And then whenever he starts rotating, then that's when you kind of take advantage of it and you kind of go for wave and just try to solo that shit. So yeah, so that's kind of the main story of how you play from behind. So you just kind of safely farm, really. Definitely do not, people make this mistake for some reason, do not fight your guy. I swear to God, if you fight your guy, you're going to lose, and then you're going to cause your entire team a victory. do not fight your guy. Like, if you're behind and you try to fight, you're gonna lose, and it's not gonna be a very fun time. Let's say like your 3 was behind. If he dashes on you, you dash under tower. You can't fight him. He's probably gonna spam laugh you, but if you're behind, that's what you need to do. That's the only way you're gonna have a chance of coming back. Just definitely do not get soloed. That is the main thing. Just try to safe farm. Don't try to steal these buffs ever. Do not try to go for these, or else the jungler probably will rotate on you, and then you're just gonna be even further behind. Like, just don't try to take these. Safely farm your jungle and farm your lane whenever you can. That is the main objective here. Now, if a team is gonna invade some buffs, then you can try to tag along, get some minor XP. But if not, then you stay your ass under fucking tower and you cry like a little bitch you are. Anyways, that is gonna be the video, I believe. I think I've covered everything. I've covered how to play behind, covered how to play ahead. Alright, I believe that is it. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.